All righty, there you have it. That's the lowdown on Nevada Museum of Art in Reno. In the studio, live and in the flesh, we've got Alexis Lamas from South Shore Custom Detailing. And I was telling the story of how we met and how the construction crews splattered oil and tar on my car. And then everybody was referring me to you. You know, I went to like JB's Audio and a couple different places because I didn't know where your shop was at, and they kept giving me your card. So that's a good testament to the work that you do. So let the viewers know your scope of business, all the different services you provide, and then we'll talk about them each specifically.
Okay. We could start off with just a basic wash, you know, to a wax, to a shampooing your carpets, windows, and then we get into buffing, wet sanding, and then I mean, pretty much anything that has to do with cleaning.
You're even cleaning engines, going in much detail,
Correct.
right? So
yes.
I guess we'll back it up a little bit and then first talk about the difference between buffing and a wax and a wet sand. What are the differences there?
So your basic wax is just a carnauba wax that you put over your car. It doesn't really take anything off. It just creates a layer of protection.
Okay.
So then you get into the buffing. Buffing, it's done with a machine that's orbital or rotary. And what it does is it heats up the paint, and that's how you create the shine.
Okay.
But after you do that, you always have to wax it.
So the buffing penetrates just a slight amount.
Correct.
With that heat, but then wet sanding takes it even another step further.
Wet sanding is a really big step, and that's when your paint's really oxidated and or you have very deep scratches.
Okay.
You know?
Yep.
Or when your paint is starting to get burnt. That's the last step you do besides a paint job.
Right. So it's the closest thing you can get to putting on a fresh new coat, right?
That is correct.
Okay. So what's the time allotment if somebody does have oxidation going on and needs that wet sand? Is it a day? Is it a couple days?
Well, usually we try to get the cars out daily.
Okay.
Sometimes we have to keep them overnight. It just it depends on the size of the vehicle.
Yep.
And the color of it. Like a black car will take twice as long as a light color car.
Okay, cool. Good to know. We were talking about engines a little bit. That's a big selling point for when you're trying to sell your car. I mean, because everybody wants to lift the hood, check out what's under the hood, and if it's clean versus all gunky and gooed up, that's going to be a big mindset for the buyer, right?
It is, and that's what I try to tell people. You know, if you're trying to sell your car, it's not only inside, outside. It's the engine bay. You know, and it's very important. When I go to purchase a car, of course you're going to open up the hood and see what's underneath there, you know. Yeah. And if you see it all dirty and stuff, then that's kind of a sign like, did you take care of your car?
And I can tell from talking with you over the time that I've known you, you've gone to a lot of certification like courses and classes, right? It's not just you're not just winging it.
No, you can't just wing it. There's no such thing as just winging it when you're doing anything like this. You know, I mean, if you burnt the paint on a car, then what do you do? Then you have to pay for a paint job. Right. Yeah. You know, it's a lot of liability.
Yeah, and it's tough to reverse things like that. And I mean, especially you seeing it right here when you're working on classic cars like this, somebody's baby, right, that they put tens of thousands of dollars into, and they're trusting you with your expertise to make sure it comes back nice and spick and span.
Absolutely. I mean, we get very expensive cars. We've gotten Ferraris, Lamborghinis. I mean, if we've anything, literally anything.
Even the California Highway Patrol trusts you, right?
That's correct.
You've got a contract with them. You do all of their cars here locally.
We do.
That's cool.
Yes.
So company cars, personal cars, whether you're selling it, whether you just bought it. I mean, this is the spot to go to. What about good idea. What about boats?
We do a lot of boats.
Yeah?
We do a lot of boats.
Okay, because especially if they're in the Tahoe Keys, right, and they get that film, that buildup, especially this year when they have that algae bloom, that toxic bloom. You could probably get that off the side and the oxidation.
Oh, we get it. Boats.
Motorcycles?
Motorcycles, we do.
Lots of chrome on motorcycles.
Lots of
chrome.
In there.
You get in there. You got a specialty toothbrush or anything that you guys use?
It's not a toothbrush, but it's pretty close to it.
It's pretty close. Alexis in the studio from South Shore Custom Detailing, everybody. The number, website, we're on your screen. Check him out on Facebook. Just give him a call or head on over to the shop and pick his brain about how he can fix up your car. Thanks as always for coming into the studio.
Thank you for having us.
You're watching Tahoe Today. We'll be back after 90 seconds of Stoke.